Hello, World Civilization 106 class. Welcome to week 8. So I just want to say, many of you are doing great. Keep up the work. Please keep in mind, when I do have a discussion, especially if I take away a paper and I am asking you to read the articles, you really have to show that you're reading the articles. So what I expect to see is when I'm reading the comments, it should be obvious to me in some way that you actually did read at least enough of the articles and can articulate what one was saying in contrast to another. It's never good enough to just say, well, this article made this one point and this one made this point, and moving on. Basically, I'm trying to get you to the whole point of this assignment is not for you to get out of this, but to actually be fully engaged with the text. So that should be obvious from what I'm seeing when I'm grading. So when it comes to assignments that I have where I am telling you I want you to read some articles and comment, or any kind of primary text, you really just, when I'm looking at this, I'm going to see right away, does it look like the student actually did that? Sometimes you write these, I read these great comments. I can tell that you are following the videos and engaged in the class, but I've asked you something very specific. So to get full points, you have to do that. So just keep that in mind. And in a university setting, you'd be graded much harder on this if you're just kind of giving information that really doesn't necessarily demonstrate that you actually read the text. That's what we're looking for, okay? Because that was the challenge. And when I see students that are doing that, I'm really happy with what I'm seeing. It's training you for critical skills in thinking and analysis, and these are the reasons why many history majors become lawyers, and many law firms like their students that have philosophy or history under their belt, because it helps them. They know that they're having critical thinking skills mixed with law. That's a whole other topic. But I'm more than happy to I just want to see you doing that work, so you are also learning about the way that history really is processed on the upper levels, meaning that it's not just an A, B, C, or D question, but it's scholars engaging with debating about the possibilities of what to make of things in history. Okay, so always keep that in mind. We have an exam coming up. I want to remind you, you have to have work citations as always. The exam is just a more beefed up example of a Sunday paper. Okay, so it's really not that complicated. If you figured out how to do a Sunday paper, you'll know how to do the exam. It's just asking you to do a little bit more in terms of covering the class. Okay, but I want to see the citations the way that I have showed you and that we've gone over in this class. So basically, when I look at your exam, it should just look like a normal Sunday paper, but again, a little more beefed up in addressing what I've asked you for the exam. Okay, so just please keep that in mind. And now we're going over Greece. I hope you're going to find this enjoyable. We think in terms of Greece and Rome just being the foundations of Western civilization. Now this is a world civilization class. But you'll see, and what's interesting to me about Alexander the Great, just for example, which just something to think about. I don't focus on him solely, but Alexander the Great pops up everywhere. He pops up in Afghanistan. He pops up in the stories of India, Iran, and legends all throughout the world. To this day, you have Egypt has the city of Alexandria named after him, a very important city. So in Egypt, right? So then you talk about Hellenization. Greek culture is going to just saturate the world. It's going to be a part of world culture. And when we cover Judaism and Christianity in particular, you're going to really see how that Greco and then later, also Roman world really shape more than just Western civilization. And so, anyhow, I hope that you are doing all right. Many of my students, just like all of us now, we're struggling with several jobs, families, kids. Sometimes you're single parents. Just being a parent, you don't have to be a single parent, and it's still a challenge. Sicknesses, there's still COVID going around. The news is dreadful, and there's just a lot going on in the world. I'm always here for all of you, understanding that. And I just need you to communicate with me. So make sure that when it comes to, I just want you to know that when you're struggling with anything academically, the thing to do is to contact me and not be afraid of talking to me. I'm not going to chew you out. We're going to try to work through some problem solving, or just figure out, how to look at things, from the widest range of possibilities and make the best choice, or at least help you, steer you in that direction. So, anyways, that's all I have to say. I hope you had a great weekend, and you're going to have a great week, and we'll be in touch.